Oh, hello, and welcome back once again. My name is Eric McLennan. This is my YouTube channel, and this is Grand Theft Auto 5. State Tour. What should I call this? State Tour? San Andreas Tour? Yeah, I think San Andreas Tour. Welcome back for episode 2 of the San Andreas Tour. Every single time, I will take a different vehicle from this Los Santos Customs in East Los Santos and make a full loop of the entire highway. The main major looping perimeter highway of the state of San Andreas. It gets a little sketchy in here. I gotta really make sure I don't miss my cutoffs. And then boom, you get off here, or no, you get off here, boom, that's it. And I won't explain this every time, but this is only my second one. And I come up here, I go to the peak of the mountain, and then I come back down here. So that's it. Last time I did it in the hijack Chameleon. This is the first car that I picked in GTA Online. Chevelle Fugitive. So this is my Chevelle Fugitive. It's definitely not as fast as the other one, but it makes a cool loud sound, like a loud muscle car or something, so that's cool. Got it painted bright orange. It's got like no upgrades on it, so this is just a very basic car. It's a decent car. I mean, it's not a piece of shit, but it's certainly not a speed demon like that last one, and it doesn't have any extra armor or anything. So let's see how this goes. Last time I made it from beginning to end with a few setbacks, but I didn't destroy the car and I didn't kill myself, which was actually kind of surprising considering how... Oh my god. Hold on. I already fucked this up? Wait, what the fuck? What the hell way was I supposed to go? Oh, dude, these highways are fucked. I can't imagine what it's actually like driving around LA. I was supposed to come up here onto the main fucking dick of this fucking... You know, I was down there on the fucking pubes. That was my issue. Now I'm here up on the shaft. Alright, let's go. Fuck you, bitch. Cool. I love driving around in GTA 5. I love driving around in all the Grand Theft Auto games. But this one is just so fun. It's such a vibe. It's just amazing. I love it. Today, you're gonna get this video a week after I uploaded the last one. But today, it's the first several episodes are all gonna be recorded in one day. It is indeed still my birthday, May 31st, 2025, 39 years old. I worked today, did like a half shift, because I'm out here in Winnipeg. I've been here about 8 months. I have not been able to find a permanent job yet, which is like, I mean, if you just Google from wherever you are in the world, Google Canada, jobs, Canada summer jobs, immigration, and you'll get, like, at this point, even mainstream news articles have to admit that, like, the reason why even, like, Canadian-born teenagers are having a really hard time finding, like, a summer job now is because we have way too many immigrants here. I mean, it's not about not wanting any newcomers in Canada, but literally Canada has always taken in about, I think, about 200 grand, like 200,000 immigrants a year, and then the last several years we've been taking in like 500,000, 1 million a year, like way too many. Like, and our economy was already messed up, so it's taking a strained economy and straining it way more. The strained economy makes it so that there are less jobs, but then there are also way more people going after them. all of our roads are constantly clogged. All of our major municipalities have 1,000,001 construction projects ongoing all the time, so every fucking road is under construction. And it's because all the city councilors and people want to justify their jobs and make the economy look better than what it really is. So they just spend all the public money on public works projects to give themselves things to pat themselves on the back for, and, you know, pad their politician resumes. I gotta make sure I don't miss when I enter Grapeseed and have the opportunity to take that path up the mountain. Etc. I could go on and on about it, and I'm sure at various points on this YouTube channel I will. Suffice to say, it's hard to find a job. So I've been in Winnipeg 8 months. It's a city of almost 1,000,000 people, and as a person with oops, there it is. That's my turn. I only missed it by about 10 feet this time instead of by like 10 miles like last time. Hey, let's go. So yeah, I've been here 8 months. I mean, I have a huge resume. I've done all kinds of different jobs, but I cannot find a permanent position to get hired at. I can only find temp work. So anyway, I was doing some temp work today. Delivering tires around the city, which is pretty fun. Just driving a van around the city with tires and delivering tires. I mean, I don't mind that at all. I like driving in real life, same as I do in video games. I think it's actually strangely easier to see with your headlights off sometimes in this game. This spot is really tough. Oh boy, that lag though. That's crazy, because this rental that I'm staying in right now actually has really good internet, so I don't know what's the deal with that, but whatever. I guess it might just be on GTA's end or Sony's end. I do only have a regular PS4, so I can only actually connect to the 2G internet connection, so that probably really doesn't help. Obviously 2G is like way more restricted than 5G. Yeah, so I need a job. I need a job. Hopefully I find one. Let's talk about something a little more pleasant, though. Let's talk about my history with gaming. The first game I remember ever playing, my grandmother, my dad's mom, who unfortunately passed away at the age of 74 in 2012 of cancer. I feel like I've talked to her about her on this channel before briefly. She was really cool because she was a little bit more... Oh, this happened to me in the other car. Oh, am I gonna get it? I have just enough power to get some momentum and get up. Please. Oh, this is not good. Oh, this is not good. Oh, this is not good. Hold on. Whoa. Hey. Fucking, holy battling seizure robots here. Okay. Let's get back up on this fucking path here. Oh boy. Oh boy, this car does not have the same amount of fucking torque as the Chameleon did, but I think we should still be able to make it. Just gotta weasel my way up on some slightly less steep part of this fucking mountain. Holy shit. Eventually I will start to make these runs really smoothly where I don't actually, you know, fall down the side of the mountain at all. So my first time I remember playing any game was with her. She was cool because I don't know, she liked hanging out with me because I was smart as a kid, and she could kind of talk with me about smart subjects. She didn't have to treat me so much like a kid. So she would talk to me about all kinds of cool stuff like outer space and black holes and time travel and evolution and did we evolve from apes, or I mean, she always told me that she thought because there was a break in the evolutionary chain that we couldn't explain, that it must have been aliens that came down here and like bred with us, which I used to think sounded crazy at the time. I used to just think like, oh, it's just one of those weird things that old people say, but Oh, when I became an adult, I started to realize, damn, she might just be right about that. Man, look at those graphics. Look how cool those clouds look. The stars, the fucking moon. God, this game looks good. Look at that, man. Pretty as a picture. Okay, let's get up this fucking mountain, though. But she also was into gaming. Like, until her dying day, she was into gaming. But I think when I was little, I think when I was born, she was 49. So, to me, she was always old. But, for as long as I knew her, she was always into gaming. And, actually, I remember her, like, watching her play. She had, like, an old computer version of, oh, here's my parking spot. So here's where I come to on the mountain. Now I turn around. Awesome. She would play these computer versions of Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune. Those were kind of cool to watch. But then actually playing, I remember her having a game that was, I think the original version of this game is called Breakout, but it's the game where you have a paddle at the bottom of the screen you control by moving it left and right, and there's a ball that bounces around and you have to keep catching the ball to make it bounce. And there are a bunch of bricks up at the top and you have to have the ball hit them to break them. And then you win by having them all broken. She had a version of that on her old-ass computer, whatever the hell her computer was, called Blockbuster. So that's kind of my first memory of, like, playing games myself, was playing that game Blockbuster. Aside from that, the other memories involve the other side of my family. That was my dad's mom. On my mom's side of the family, I remember going over to my cousin's house, my mom's brother's daughter, but she was only like 3 years older than me. And like my mom's mom was one of 12 kids, so it was a big family. And basically, after the mother of those 12 kids passed away, that family busted all apart because of like a family feud over the family farm. Legitimately, that just doesn't just happen in stories. That actually happened in my family. But before that, all the family was like, got along well enough, and yeah, I would just be hanging out with those cousins all the time. So I remember when I was little. I mean, I was born in '86, so I don't know exactly what age this would have been. I know for sure, like, I played Super Mario Brothers for the first time when I was 3 years old, which would have made it 1989, or maybe early 1990. At this point, the NES had been out a few years, but obviously I didn't know that when I was a kid. And I remember, like, not just playing Super Mario Brothers, like, with my cousin and a couple other cousins that were my age, or around my age, but also, like, I remember all the adults being into it. It was just such a new, neat, and interesting thing at the time. Like, I have a specific memory of being at my uncle's house, like my cousin's dad. Well, dad and mom being at their house, and having a bunch of us sitting in the living room, like my mom and dad, probably my grandparents, me and some of the younger cousins, my aunt and uncle. And it was kind of like everybody was taking a turn. And I remember there was a small scene at the time. There was a small vibe of, like, when people would get together, a lot of the adults were into the NES. Not tons of games. People weren't super into gaming, but it was just a new and novel thing that happened on the TV, which obviously the TV has been very popular for a long time. But adults wanted to try this thing out. And Super Mario Bros., at the time, it was like a fucking phenomenon. It was a miracle. You turned that thing on, after, you got it working, you'd get the glitchy screen a few times with the NES, you blow in it, you do whatever you gotta do, hit the reset button, and it works. And you start it up, and man, the graphics were just so cool. It was like bright blue and bright green. Oh my god. Alright, back on the highway. We made it up and down the mountain. Fucking right. With only one time falling off the mountain path this time instead of like 2 or 3 last time. So that's sweet. But yeah, Super Mario Bros. Was just this enthralling thing. Like, I remember my uncle who at the time was probably in his 40s. I remember whenever we would get to the level with the flying fish in World 2, I remember him specifically having a strategy that was like the opposite of what everybody else was trying in that level. Because everybody else, when they made it to that level, they would kind of get like deer in the headlights with the flying fish, and they would try and go really slowly through the level, like dodging every single fish. Excuse me. And it wasn't really working. Nobody was making it past it. But I remember my uncle, he was like, no, you guys are doing it wrong. You just have to run really fast and you just get through. And he was right. Like, more or less, you were a lot safer just running through that level and just, you know, getting past it as quickly as possible to avoid the randomness of the fish. But yeah, like, he was legit in his 40s at the time. And it was just a thing. It was very cool. I remember when I got my NES, probably a couple of years after that, when I was maybe, I don't know, 5 or 6, got it for Christmas. That was so great, and I'm so grateful to my parents for that. I remember at the time, my parents, whenever I asked them for anything, they would always tell me, no, like, we can't afford it, we're too poor. That was just like, that was their way of, like, you know, after I had asked for like 100 different things, like, they had to have some kind of explanation, otherwise I would just keep asking why, right? So the explanation was, we don't have the money for it. And it was their way of being honest, and, like, not, you know, making up some bullshit thing, but also, like, you know, they weren't explaining to me the details of their budget, and probably sometimes they did have money for stuff, but they just couldn't explain, like, I could buy this for you, but, you know, I probably should buy other things that are more important, right? But I remember when I got my NES that Christmas, and I got, I think, the Game Genie with it too, which was so cool, and a few games. And this was, it was probably like 91, I might have gotten that NES, and that was like when the Super NES was already out. But, you know, I didn't know as a kid, and I was just, I mean, it probably still cost my parents a whole bunch of money to buy it all for me, and they didn't have tons of money, so I'm very, very grateful. It was great memories, and obviously I'm still into gaming to this day. But I remember it was the kind of thing where we had taken multiple cars. When I was a kid, like my grandma, my mom's mom, my mom had 2 siblings, or has 2 siblings to this day. She has a sister and a brother. So, you know, at my grandparents' house, or it wasn't always at my grandparents' house, but a lot of the time it was, we would all get together at Christmas. Doesn't really happen so much anymore, but that's a long story. But so we must have taken multiple cars to get there, for maybe we were driving somebody else or who knows what. But you know, we were out for the day, I think, at my grandparents' house. You know, lots of gifts were given, and merrymaking was had, Christmas dinner, and lots of chatter and blah blah blah. So I remember going home, must have been like with my mom. I feel like my sister maybe was alive by this point, but probably would have been like 0 or 1 years old, like a little baby. And I remember getting home, and in the basement, my dad and my uncle, my mom's brother, already had the NES set up. And I remember I must have only had 2 games at the time, which were Super Mario Brothers, awesome, classic, and the second game I had, dude, I don't know how my parents knew. There must have been good marketing or something, but actually pretty much every game I received as a kid is considered like a classic now. So the other game I got besides Super Mario Brothers that Christmas was Ninja Gaiden 2, which is like, that game's hard for me to play this day. Like, I probably couldn't beat this game like right now if I tried to play it, but never mind as a kid. But you know, that's how they made the games back then, so that they would last and you wouldn't just beat it right away. But I remember coming home and, like, you know, me and my mom and maybe my sister unloading the car and getting in. But then maybe my dad came home, maybe they just came back early for the sake of setting up the NES for me, who knows. But they were, like, already back, and they were, like, playing, oh no, what was it? Maybe it was, I had to go to bed that night and they stayed up playing. Maybe that's what it was. And then maybe I found out in the morning that, like, my dad and my uncle had, like, stayed up playing Ninja Gaiden 2, and, like, they had like their big accomplishment was that I think they might have beaten the first boss. They either like made it to the first boss or they might have beat the first boss. And it was like this big fucking accomplishment that I heard about in the morning. It was good times, good vibes. NES, man, what a great console. And then from there, I mean, the stories are endless. Let's so I definitely want to go this way. Now let's really watch my compass. I gotta navigate myself back through this highway system. I need to take an exit to go right. Am I already off? Hold on, I gotta find out. Am I already fucked? No, I'm not. I'm good. Okay. I wanted to not check the map and just trust myself, but at a certain point, like, you gotta check the map. At a certain point, you gotta admit that you're not totally certain of where the fuck you're going. Okay, so I should have taken that ramp there, correct? Oh, I can just take this one. Or this is probably the better one to take. So I take this ramp. And then I'm on this, and then I'm gonna look to take a ramp going east really soon. This one. This big bad boy. That's gotta do it. Not the right one. Not the peel off. Oh shit, not the ramp. Not the unbuilt ramp. Here we go. And now I just gotta watch for that Pay and Spray Los Santos Customs symbol up on the left. And then I'll know that I'm coming up on my time to hop off the highway. There it is. And the next exit, I would say... Man, I still got some driving skills. I don't want to get arrogant about it, but... I still do have some driving skills. That's pretty cool. Okay, here we are. Back home, safe and sound, baby. So, my first loop, it took me about 30 minutes to make it all the way back. Let's see where my stopwatch will be at for this one. 22 minutes! Oh, baby! Improvement! Let's fucking go. That's sweet. Look at my outfit. Fucking decked myself out in fancy fucking clothing. Oh, well, that's it. That was my adventure around the state of San Andreas in a... What was this car called again? Fugitive? Cheval Fugitive. For those of you who don't know, cheval is the French word for horse, so that's probably the reference there. I mean, obviously that's like a Mustang. That's like calling a car a Mustang, since a Mustang is also a type of horse. It's like a Chevy Impala. An Impala is like a type of deer. Yeah, so that's cool. So you heard a little bit about my history with video games. We saw a little bit of a loop around San Andreas. We got to experience the Cheval. This thing to me looks like a Dodge Charger or Challenger. Maybe even not quite an Avenger, really. Yeah, it looks like one of the modern Chargers or Challengers. That's kind of why I picked it. I thought it would be one of the more decent, like, basic cars. My car did decent. I mean, it's not really busted up too bad. But yeah, that's it. Thanks for being here with me on this Grand Theft Auto 5 adventure. Let me know if you have any cool stories about your history with gaming, or if you had any thoughts on mine, or if hearing about my memories sparked any memories in you. Let me know what you think about this series. Like, do you think this is fun? Do you think there's something better I could be doing with my time? Are you interested in me doing a full game run of Grand Theft Auto 5? To me, the game is like really long. Maybe I could do it. I don't know. Like, the thing is, like, the story is interesting, but like, if I'm showing off the story, it's a long game with a lot of cutscenes and a lot of conversations. So then I think to myself, well, I could just edit out those parts and keep it all gameplay. That's probably what would appeal more to me, but then some people might not want that. They might think that it's just, I don't know, boring driving and shooting and shit. I don't really know. I don't love the gun battling and shit. The heists are fun. I like driving the most in these games, to be frank. So that's kind of why this is the thing I'm doing right now. But yeah, that's what I got. If there are any particular vehicles you want me to do this my San Andreas State tour in, definitely let me know. I think the next one I might do with my little motorcycle. I bought the $40,000 motorcycle. Might try that. But yeah, that's what I got. Drop a comment. Let me know what you think. Please like the video. Please sub to my channel. Helps me out massively. I need your help. I can't do it without you. I'm not going to tell you to, you know, feel guilty if you don't. But I would just love it if you did. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.